You've felt it, right? The moment you need something, money, love, a message back, a breakthrough, reality suddenly develops commitment issues. It stalls, it teases, it ghost walks just out of reach. And you start doing what every smart person does. You think harder, plan harder, try harder, and somehow the gap gets bigger. Here's the ugly part nobody says out loud. Need is not a request. Need is a broadcast. And the signal you're broadcasting when you need something is, I don't have it. I'm not safe without it. I'm incomplete until it arrives. That's not manifestation. That's a live stream of panic. You were trained into this backward law. Once the thing shows up, then I'll be calm. Once they choose me, then I'll feel lovable. Once I hit the number, then I'll breathe. That sounds reasonable. Until you notice it never ends, because the goalpost isn't the goalpost. It's your inner baseline. Let me say it like an investigator, not a motivational poster. Your nervous system has a default setting, an emotional thermostat. And if that thermostat is set to scarcity, pressure, proving, and not enough, you can stand in paradise and still sweat like you're being chased. So the real problem isn't that you're unlucky. It's that you're trying to use the mirror to change your face. You're begging the reflection to smile first so you can finally relax. But mirrors don't lead. They echo. External reality is the receipt. Your inner state is the purchase. And once you actually feel that, not as a cute quote, but as a law, something flips. You stop trying to bully life into giving you what you want. You start doing the only thing that works, becoming the version of you that already lives there. That's what I mean by the magnetic state. It's not high vibe. It's not fake positivity. It's the internal posture where you're no longer grabbing at life like it owes you an apology. And when you enter it, things don't just happen. They start moving toward you. Now, let's make this practical and a little uncomfortable. Most people treat the physical world like it's the boss. But the physical world is the slowest layer of reality. It's the last place things show up, like the final printout, after the whole system already decided. Think about every object you've ever seen. A phone, a chair, a business, a relationship. None of it started as matter. It started as an inner picture, an idea someone held long enough to become real. First, it was invisible, then it was undeniable. That's the order. Possibility to mind to matter. But here's where you lose power. You let current circumstances hypnotize you. You look at a bank account and call it identity. You look at rejection and call it truth. You look at a delay and call it fate. And then you keep broadcasting the same signal. I am behind. I am not chosen. I am unsafe. Which is basically telling reality, please keep confirming this. Let's translate frequency into psychology, so nobody has to pretend they're floating in the clouds. Your frequency is your dominant emotional set point, your self-concept, and your pattern of attention. What do you habitually notice? What do you habitually expect? What do you habitually brace for? Because your attention is not neutral. Attention is a steering wheel. Whatever you keep scanning for, you keep training your brain to find. And your brain is a ruthless intern. It will bring you evidence for whatever story you assign it. So if you want to enter the magnetic state, you don't manifest harder. You reverse the order. You start from the inner cause. Here's the hardest sentence in this whole video. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you're prepared to receive. Read that again. Because a lot of you want love, but are prepared for abandonment. You want money, but are prepared for guilt, pressure, and collapse. You want success, but are prepared to self-sabotage the second you're seen. That mismatch is the wall in the river. So the magnetic state is not a mood, it's a recalibration, a new baseline. It's you becoming internally safe enough that the thing you desire can actually land, without you panicking, clutching, or destroying it. And yes, this is where people get mad, because it means your life isn't cursed, it's conditioned. Which is good news, because conditioning can be rewritten. So how do you rewrite it without pretending, without chanting, without lying to yourself in the mirror like a confused actor? You build the magnetic state the same way you build muscle. Repetition under the right conditions. Here are the 4 practices. Simple, brutal, and effective. 1. Stillness. You stop feeding the noise. Every morning, you sit in silence, no performance, no spirituality cosplay, just quiet. Because your mind is not you, it's a suggestion machine. At first, it'll scream. To-do lists, regrets, imaginary arguments, the greatest hits of your anxiety. Let it. Your job is not to win thoughts. Your job is to stop marrying them. Stillness creates space, and space is where you stop being dragged by need. 2. Nervous system regulation. You teach your body it's safe. If your body thinks you're in danger, you'll chase outcomes like oxygen. So you downshift, slow breathing, long exhales, walking without a podcast, sunlight, stretching, anything that tells your biology we're not being hunted. This isn't self-care, this is strategy. A regulated nervous system makes better decisions. A dysregulated one calls panic intuition. 3. Emotional clearing. You stop carrying invisible debt. Unprocessed emotion is not gone. It's stored. And stored pain becomes a filter, a lens, a frequency. So you do the unglamorous work, journaling, naming the fear, talking to the younger part of you that still thinks love must be earned. When triggers show up, you don't shame yourself, you investigate. A trigger is a flashlight. It shows you what's stuck. And here's the twist. Space is magnetic. The less clutter in your field, the easier life moves through you. 4. Response over reaction. You reclaim authorship. Reaction is letting the mirror write your identity. Response is you deciding your energy before the world tries to decide it for you. Pause. Breathe. Choose. Say, even this is working for me. Not as delusion, as leadership. Because when you stop reacting like a victim, you start creating like a cause. Put those 4 together and something almost offensive happens. You stop needing your desire. And the moment you stop needing, you become dangerous. In the best way. Because need is scarcity broadcasting. Calm is sufficiency broadcasting. And sufficiency is the frequency reality can actually deliver into without resistance. Now, let's expose the final trap, the one that keeps people addicted to chasing. You think you're chasing the desire, but most of the time, you're chasing the relief you imagine the desire will give you. And relief is a drug. It's the promise that when this happens, I can finally stop feeling this. So, you don't just want the relationship, you want rescue. You don't just want the money, you want permission to breathe. You don't just want the success, you want proof you're not secretly pathetic. That's why it runs. Because what you're actually holding is a contract with lack. I will be whole later. The magnetic state breaks that contract. Here's the daily rule. You are allowed to want things. You are not allowed to make them your oxygen. So practice this. When the mind says, where is it? Why isn't it here? What if it never comes? You answer, calmly, almost arrogantly, not my job. My job is the state. Your job is to be the cause. The mirror can catch up. And if you do this consistently, you'll notice something eerie. People call you. Opportunities randomly appear. Timing gets weird. Not because you became magical, because you became coherent. Your thoughts, your body, and your identity stopped fighting each other. Now, before you click away, let me warn you about the part nobody talks about. When you become magnetic, not everything that approaches you is a blessing. Some of it is a test wearing a gift mask. Because the universe doesn't only send you what you want, it sends you what matches you. So in the next video, we're going to talk about the dark side of magnetism. Why some people manifest the exact thing they asked for, and it ruins them. How to tell the difference between a desire that's aligned and a desire that's actually a trauma loop begging to repeat. If you don't want your next manifestation to become your next lesson, subscribe. Because the moment you stop chasing, life starts chasing back, and you better know what to do when it arrives.